Hi everybody, this is Carrie Mubarak from wooingnature.life. Hope you're well. This is the full moon view for my earth signs. Earth signs are Capricorns and Tauruses, as well as my Virgos. So if you are Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, this reading is for you, and this is specifically for the full moon period. So as you're preparing for your full moon ceremonies, rituals, as you're connecting with other people, and getting yourself synchronized with the moon and with the full moon, this is there to kind of help you navigate that, or to give you some focus for that period of time. Okay, so the full moon comes in on the 14th. The full moon is in Pisces, so it's a very touching feeling, connecting emotionally, or connecting yourself with your intuition and with your intuitive nature, or your emotional nature, earth sign. So this moon is specifically for that. And then if you have already looked at the full moon view, the general full moon view, then you will know that we are reaching back. We're going deep inside of ourselves, and deeper, even more. We're going back deeper than just our selves, than just our ego selves or our personal selves. We're going deep within our psyche, specifically to the places where we have been learning and experiencing, and what those experiences and the people that have been a part of our experience have taught us. All right, so we're going back to our spiritual lineage, our spiritual genealogy, and tapping into that as a resource of strength, as a resource of understanding, a greater understanding, helping us have a greater understanding of our walk, of our life experiences, and basically what has been or how we have been connecting over time. Okay, so that said, I am going to jump right in and just give you a general sense of what's happening for you earth signs during this full moon period, what you need to be focusing on, other than the astrological focus. This gets a little more specific to the earth signs, and into what's going on specifically with those who have that that particular propensity, or have that particular you're in that particular type or frame of reference. Okay, I'll get it together after a while. All right, so I am reading for from the Enchanted Map, and then I'll also go into some tarot if we need to. But again, the focus right now is on this full moon period. It's about our spiritual lineage, tapping into our spiritual lineage, and then seeing how that kind of folds and interacts with us in our daily life. And then also the focus is on the full moon and how the earth signs are being affected by this full moon. So I'm going to pull 3 cards here, get us a general focus, and then after that we'll see where it leads. All right, spiritual focus. Okay, all right, so right here in the middle I have the goblins, the hobgoblins of little minds, complacency, comfort, getting stuck, getting stagnant, staying in the same place all the time and not moving. So it's really important for you not to be stagnant during this time. It's very important for you to be open to the change, because the first thing I heard was the hobgoblin. What is the hobgoblin of little minds? Right? Foolish complacency is the hobgoblin of little minds. So if you are getting stuck, or if you're not feeling progressive, or if you're feeling like you're not able to make it to the next thing, or if you're feeling like you're getting stopped in any way, you got to think about what's going on in your mind that's stopping you. And again, when we're talking about generally what the full moon period is dealing with, it asks you to go back and think about what you've been learning. So if you have been learning from people how to be complacent or how to stay stuck, then that is a part of your history, but it doesn't have to remain that way, earth signs. Earth signs like to stay put. They like for things to be the same, They get very comfortable in their settings. And so, but you don't want to do that, okay? And then you also got to think about where you learned that from. and if that is a part of your legacy. Okay, when we talk about spiritual legacies, we also talk about generational curses. Like I hear people talking about, oh, that's a generational curse. So if you have a generational curse, quote unquote, I'm using that word. I think it's a strong word to use, generational curses. But if you have something that has generationally been repeating itself in cycles throughout everyone's life, and it's something that represents complacency or being still or not being able to progress and move forward, then you want to examine that, because there's teachings in that too. We're talking about teachings of all kinds, where you have been learning and what has been your legacy because of the lessons that you have been imbibing, or the lessons that you've been taking in from different people, both positive and negative. So it's something to think about at this time. To the left of you, or to the left of you, I'm just going to say to the left of you, it could be your past, but it could also be that which operates from the hidden or from the feminine, or for that which is not readily exposed. It's wide open, being very open to receive. And again, if we're talking about being complacent and sitting still, you've got to be able to receive. And then on this side, we have unexpected visitors. So this is really interesting to me, because if we are talking about our legacy, our spiritual legacy, our physical legacy, and the things that we've been learning, and our teachers and what they have taught us, and what we've been learning so far, what have you been learning about being complacent? What have you been learning from others about being complacent? Because teachers don't just come in the form of people with books and knowledge and standing in front of a classroom. Sometimes our teachers come to us in the form of friends, associates, children. It could be anybody. We have to think about how those lessons have ingrained themselves in our thinking, and then how do we shift that if we want to shift it, or if we want to shift our paradigm or change our paradigm. To me, if you are being more open to what's coming through right now, then you're also open to the change. You're open to some unexpected things, some things that, or some people, it could be people coming into your life, could be situations that open, or there's an open door to a new situation for your life. But being open to that then becomes very important, and learning the lessons that we've been receiving will help you do that. And again, that's both on the positive and on the negative side as well. So just be kind of mindful, earth signs, about those kinds of lessons. Okay, also think about how the experiences that you're having with others has been shaping the way that you've been moving, the way you've been operating, whether or not you've been sticking close and keeping to the things that make you feel safe and secure, or whether or not you're open to some new experiences, whether or not you're open to receiving messages from other people, or receiving energy from new people that you haven't been before. So I would definitely check in around that, earth signs, for sure. All right, so we've got a page of swords in reverse. Page of swords to me is about letting go of the past. Letting go of the things that don't serve you anymore. Letting go of those teachings that you may have received from other people that have that at current are not serving you, or at current are not fueling you, or feeding you, or pushing you forward. Okay? In order to make way for the new, in order to make way for the unexpected, you have to clear out some things that need to be cleared out right now. And it's a good time to do it, because it is a Virgo season still right now. So clearing out, removing some old thought patterns definitely would be helpful, because again, the page of swords is a rules the mind. So getting rid of negative thought patterns, I'm going to say, is really significant for you, earth signs, right now. So again, in talking about this legacy, this teaching legacy, and what you've learned, I'm getting really strongly for you all that it's both sides. It's not just the really positive messages that you've received, but it's also the messages the negative messages that you have received, particularly those that cause you to be defensive, or that make you feel territorial, or make you feel like you have to protect yourself, guard yourself. Again, that goes back to being open, being in an open position. If you're guarding and protecting yourself here, then that's not being open. I'm not saying to let people in to do all kinds of things. I'm not saying don't set your boundaries. I'm just saying be a little more open to receive, and also letting go of some of these old messages that have come through in the past for you, that have served as your teachers, because it doesn't mean that what you learned isn't significant. It was significant at that time. It got you to where you are now. But then you have to make an assessment. That's what this is about. That's what Virgo season is about. It's about making an assessment and saying, okay, that's the information that I needed then to help me get to this place. But now that I am where I am now, how do those messages or how do those lessons serve me? And how are they not serving? Or what new lessons have I gained access to that I hadn't had access to before? We got strength in reverse there too. Again, going to that place. To me, it's about going into your inner, where your inner sanctum is. It's strengthening your inner sanctum, and this is about that too, because being able to release fears or release those things that have kept us back or kept us from moving forward is an important part of strengthening your inner core. It's also a very important part of becoming stronger spiritually, becoming stronger mentally as well, where you're not just relying on something somebody told you, but you're also relying on the experiences that you've had as being the teachers that they can be, because it's not just people that can be our teachers. Experience is the best teacher. Experience is the best teacher. So lean more on your own experiences. Lean on the lessons that you've learned from just living, from just being, from just observing, from just making mistakes and discovering more things about yourself from the mistakes that you have made. It's a really powerful transition, I think, for you Earth signs, is to get past that. Earth signs are very traditional. They're very much traditionalist. They're very traditional and can sometimes be very conservative, and so the lessons that we learned from other people, we hold a lot of value. They hold a lot of value, and I'm not saying to negate those, but it's like assess the messages for what they are, because sometimes people are telling us things based on their own hurts, on their own pain, on their own negative experiences. You know, they're giving us warnings because they don't want us to make the same mistakes that they made. So that can sometimes come in the form of a fear. You want to be careful that you're not absorbing other people's fears. Here I got the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is definitely about guidance and understanding the guidance that you've received so far in your life, and then how that guidance shapes you, has shaped you, and then what would you tell somebody else? So like if you think about what you received from your teachers, how would you change that story, or how would you modify that story based on your own experiences? So you think about what somebody may have told you, or what somebody may have shared with you, or what they may have tried to instill in you, and you think about how that's impacted your life for the positive or for the negative. And then you also think about how you would modify that story for somebody else. So if you were going to give somebody that same advice, or if somebody was going through the same situation that you were going through and you were going to give them advice about it, how would you modify or adjust the story that you were given, or the narrative that you were given, so that it's more of a positive teaching, or so that it could be useful to other people moving forward in their life, and also useful to you and how you're moving forward in your life? Okay? All right, so Earth signs, that's just something for you to think about while you're doing your full moon thing. Definitely take that time to reflect. This is definitely a good time for self-reflection, since the moon is in Pisces, which is where we're dealing with our psyche and our subconscious, and what is ruminating and moving through our subconscious. So this is a really good time to do that. Just remember to be open, to not be complacent. Don't allow yourself to be complacent, and don't allow the things that you have taught and that you've been taught in the way of being safe and secure to end up keeping you from getting to where you want to get to. Also, as you're being open, you can expect the unexpected, be it people or be it experiences or something new coming into your life around the full moon period. And then take that in as also lessons, teachings, and learning how to move past a place that feels really comfortable to you into something that is more exciting, more accessible, or where you can be more accessible to others as well, and then their teachings can then add to your story and add to your narrative. All right, so that's your full moon view for September 14th. If you want to know how the full moon is affecting your astrology specifically, you can reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you have a great new moon and have a fantastic life.